Swing and a miss. Struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup for the lead. Yes!
Iverson, wow, what a fake off Daniels as he broke his ankles and got all the way to the cup.
What's going on?
What's up, Don?
It's part one. Gonna try something different here. We're gonna split the episode into two parts. So we're gonna do part one tonight. We'll do part two tomorrow night. And then when you listen on the pod, it'll all just be one episode.
There you go.
But Joe, there's a lot of weird shit going on right now. But we're here. We're gonna talk some birds tonight.
Beautiful.
Gonna talk the trade that never was. But Joe, talk to me. Tell me what's going on, brother.
Oh man, there's so much going on with me. There's so much going on in the sports world. I mean, you walk outside, you're like, it's like the never-ending Snoop Dogg concert. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know what's going on with it.
Joe, it's a mix between that and like the opening of like a Marvel's Avengers movie.
It's wild, man. It's like surreal. It's surreal.
I saw some of the pictures from where did I see? I saw pictures from New York today.
Yeah.
And like downtown Manhattan looks like it's like a thick cloud of orange. It's just fucking wild. And it literally happened all within hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we first started noticing it last night when we were at our son's baseball game, and we didn't really know what the heck it was. It was like somebody's having a fire in their backyard, and maybe it's getting a little out of control. And then somebody was like, "Oh, it's the wildfires," and I'm like, "I don't know, man. We're in Pennsylvania. What wildfires are you talking about?"
Right? It's wild, man.
It is, and it's even crazier for me too, because I have family in upstate New York, and they're like probably 50 miles across the lake from Canada, and they sent me some pictures today. Man, it is just you
nuts.
Can't put it into words. It's like, what is going on, man?
Just crazy. But
It
listen,
is. And it's like, when is it going to go away? When's it going to get better? Like, what's what's going on? Where's it exactly coming from?
So from everything that I've heard, it's supposed to start to dissipate later on this week. Late Friday, like late Thursday, early Friday. Don't quote me on this. I'm not doing my best John Belaris imitation, but it'll dissipate at some point, obviously. But it's this. You're almost seeing like that lake effect wind.
Yeah.
Just kind of push it just in this general direction, and it's pushing down further south. It's been happening in New England for a little while now too. So
yeah, it's just crazy that it's lasted this long and gotten this far.
It's just wild. But listen, Joe, even wilder. The story came out. I want to say late. It was over the weekend. The details of the story of what happened with Russell Wilson and what almost happened with the Eagles. Before we even get into the details, Joe, the fact that it came this close to having Russell Wilson, what went through your mind the first thing that you heard? Because from everything that we've read, man, it was pretty damn close.
Yeah, I mean, we have to pat Russ on the back and shake his hand, because literally the picks, the players, everything was in place. Everything was set for this thing to be real. Not a rumor, not, blowing smoke, but like this was really going to happen. But Russ shot it down because he didn't want to come here. But you know, and looking back at it and seeing the year that he had, how terrible he was, thank God he said no.
I mean, listen, and he said no to multiple places. He also said no to a deal to go to Washington.
Yeah.
But you can see why Seattle was willing to sell, right? Because they almost saw the writing on the wall. But I look at that and I'm going, holy fuck, we dodged an enormous fucking bullet. Because if I calculate this correctly, right, the things that you would have had to give up to get him would have included multiple first round picks.
Mm-hmm.
The deal almost certainly would have included Jalen Hurts. I shudder at the fact, and the only reason I feel like AJ Brown was here was because of Jalen Hurts.
Right.
You look at that cascading effect of like what the trajectory of that one particular move. Huge thank you to Russell Wilson for saying no. It's one of the first times that I'll ever look at a deal and a player and go, thanks for not picking us.
Yeah, exactly.
I appreciate it, right? Because if you look at those picks and you look at the play, and we can only say hypothetically, the players that they picked at the picks that they would have traded, you're essentially saying that it would have been, you would have a team and a roster that would be minus Jalen Hurts, minus AJ Brown, minus Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
Guaranteed that all of those picks would have been included, right? And from everything that I've read, Josh Sweat would have been included in that deal. Like, you look at like the amount of guys and the effect that those players had on this team. I'm trying to think of like the alternative universe where we're sitting here tonight, Joe, going, holy shit, how do we get out of this Russell Wilson deal? What the fuck were we thinking? Look at all this shit. And hindsight is what it is, but you wouldn't have known that you would have had the players that you picked. But retrospectively, you look back and you look at the players that they picked in those spots. It's almost impossible to imagine giving up that much for that type of player.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that move in itself could have really crippled this team, this organization for years to come. I mean, you would have had Russ here, but you wouldn't have had much of anybody else. You're putting out all those years and all that money, and you're giving up all that draft capital and players. And then for him to have a year that he had, and finding out the kind of guy he really is, and how he really is with his teammates. He's got his own office away from the players. It's like, really, dude? Like, okay, maybe you could have gotten away with that in Seattle, but like you said, the writing could have been on the wall there too. They were like, they had enough of his personality or his antics, and the guys were just like, all right, enough is enough. And I mean, he had a good run there, but you're going to a new team, you're going to a new coaching staff, a new environment. You want to go in there and prove to the guys that you still are the guy. And to set yourself up like that and to play as horribly as you did, it's not a good look. Thank God we don't have to. Woof, it's like a sigh of relief that we don't have to deal with that whole situation.
I mean, you would have that one move with with all of the correct moves that Howie Roseman has had, and roll the amount of times that he's rolled the dice on players or moves or trades and coming up aces every time. This one particular move would have taken away all of that capital instantaneously.
Yeah. I mean, we would be set back for years. I mean,
and not. I mean, just thinking about right now, Joe. Talk about the salary cap implications, right? Because Russ is not coming to you on a team friendly deal either.
No, he's his deal is. I mean, I don't know the financial breakdown of it all, but the way that it's configured and the money that he's fronted and the guaranteed money and all that stuff, really would have handcuffed us with making a deal like for Brown. But like you said, the whole all those chips and all that stuff kind of fell into place because of having Jalen here and guys wanting to come here and play with Jalen. So I mean, thank God that we don't have to worry about that, because I can't imagine in this city and this fan base how, like, us sitting here right now talking, what a bleak outlook it would be for this upcoming season, coming off the year that Russ had in Denver, and trying to reach at straws and say, how are we going to get back on track? How is this team going to win?
Yeah.
Like, and then you're stuck and you're locked into that deal. I mean, I don't know if Denver's able to get out of it after this year or next year, but I can't imagine that whole situation with the players and the coaching staff, John Elway. I can't imagine. I mean, they would eat him alive here. I mean, Denver's got a good fan base, but Denver doesn't have. It's not Philly.
No.
It's not. It's not Philly.
Joe, that deal that he signed with Denver is 7 years for $296.
Oof.
Right at what he's in his late 30s.
Yeah,
and he's on the tail end of his career. Right, sure. You look at the deal that Hurts signs. It's essentially a similar deal, but for a guy who's 24, who's just about to hit that prime.
Yeah,
I'm just really thankful. Huge shout out to Russell Wilson for saying
thank you, Russ.
To the Eagles. We appreciate you. Because Joe, not to just even talk about this year, but like talk about the next 10 years, right? This team, even though they have, the big money quarterback now, God, you look at the guys that are under contract. I mean, they've got a lot of young, talented players that are under contract for what amounts to team-friendly deals. Like, and they're all, 24, 25, 26. They're all guys that are in their mid to late 20s that are all kind of hitting their stride. Right, the guy. If you look at the offensive weapons, right, AJ Brown is 25, Devontae Smith is 24, Dallas Goedert's 20. He's on the tail end at 28, right? You got. I'm trying to think who. DeAndre Swift, right?
Swift is what, 24, I think, too.
I think he's 24.
Penny, I think Penny might be 25 or 26.
So, like, you're looking at guys, Joe, that are all super, super, super young, talented. They're all kind of hitting their stride all at the same time. And it's like the perfect storm. And I love the fact that move didn't happen, because it would have sent this franchise back like monumentally. So good Lord. Thank you, Russ. We appreciate you.
Thank you for saying no.
I love that we don't live in that alternative universe, because from everything that I've read and everything that I've seen, that deal was signed, sealed, and that deal was ready to be delivered. And it was just waiting on his okay to waive that no trade clause.
Couldn't handle it. Didn't want to deal with Philly. Didn't want to deal with the ups and the downs.
Listen, Joe, whether it was the fan base, the East Coast, whatever it is.
Thank you.
Just really thankful that we don't live in that alternative universe, bro.
How about it? Amen.
Oh, God. Jeez. Well, Joe, we talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but the weather with the fucking wildfires in Canada.
Dude, what is going on, man?
Is fucking nuts. It's crazy. So something fun, Joe. Do you have like a wild weather story experience?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a New York State transplant, and don't get me wrong. Like I was young enough to pick my professional team.
Joe, we
So
got you. You're homegrown. You're good.
okay, all right. I just wanted to reiterate. I don't want any trouble. I don't want people talking anything, talking silly, talking goofy. Um, you know, lake effect snow, wintertime and snow in New York State is something like you would only see in books if you hadn't had a chance to experience it. We would get it basically snows from like November to like April. It could snow and it'll snow for 5 days at a time, 7 days at a time, 2 weeks at a time. You could get no joke. They would get storms and they still get them just because of the lake effect. So you have the system, you got the moisture, you got the lake. It's right there. Like it just reproduces and reproduces and reproduces. We could get snow 4 to 6 inches in an hour. Like realistically, 4 to 6 inches in an hour. Like all day. All day. They had a storm last winter. The town that I grew up in, Oswego, which is right on Lake Ontario, literally right on the lake. They got in areas around there, got 100 or 107 inches of snow in one day.
Whew.
Was it one day?
Jesus. Hey, Joe,
I don't know if it was one day. It might have been 2 or 3 days. But still, how much snow did we get last year? I don't think we got any snow.
We might have got like a half a centimeter.
What's our worst winter? What did we have? 3 feet? 4 feet?
I mean, Joe,
that you can remember. The blizzard of 93, the blizzard of 96.
Not like to me, and it might be age. I remember 96 just being like just crazy, and it's a nor'easter. So at that point, it's 96. I'm 16, right? And my brother, I got an older brother who's 18, younger brother who's 14.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, snow, everybody grab, like we're like dragging the shovels out, right? We're like, all right, we're gonna go make some money.
Yeah.
And we got 30 inches in 24 hours. And I just remember there were houses that we had shoveled that we would go back to and have to do again, because by the time we had finished and the time that we were walking back through the neighborhood, it was right back to where we had started, if not worse. But I just remember just wild weather, man. And just, at that point, you're stuck home, 3-4 days, nobody's going to school because you can't get the car out of the street. You can't get the car out of the driveway. But just wild stuff. And then the rain here, man, I remember one time we had a flood. I can't remember. It was right around that time too. But so over my parents' house, right across the street, there's like a little, it's like a gully right in on the opposite side of their cul-de-sac. And that thing was full all the way up to the top. And we probably shouldn't have been doing it, but like we had the floaties that were float, and it was like it was like straight. Like, do you remember a couple summers ago when it flooded real bad? Like a couple,
the guy swimming on the Vine Street Expressway.
The guy, the South Philly cesspool where they're jumping off the bridge.
Tetanus shot, bro. Right? Tetanus shot.
Oh my god! But just some of these wild weather experiences, man. And this just, you kind of knew it was in the news that it was happening, but like to see some of the pictures, especially the pictures coming out of New York today, within 12 to 14 hours, it had gone from like what appeared to be completely normal to like legit straight orange where you couldn't even see the buildings.
Yeah. And you should see the town that I grew up in, New York. I actually messaged my cousin, and I was like, I'm thinking about you today because you're so close to Canada. I was like, do you have any pictures? And anybody send you any photos? She actually has I'll have to send it to you after the show. She has a picture somebody took a before and like a picture of like what the sky looked like in December and what the sky looked like today.
God.
Somebody went up with a drone. It's
Wow.
like it's incredible. It'll blow you away about the visibility and just like how thick that smoke was up there.
It's just nuts. Just crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But
yeah. It's so
wild.
widespread. It's wild that it's been able to make it this far and last this long.
Oh, well, Joe, we're gonna switch it up again. Have you heard of the internet sensation, the ChatGBT?
I have not. You're gonna have to break it down for me.
So it's basically like the AI, right, is the artificial intelligence. So it's basically like this giant algorithm that like you can basically type anything into and it instantaneously like spits stuff out. So like we were messing around with it at school, right? And I'm like, all right, give me a 15-page children's book about anything. And it literally just goes page 1, gives you the script. Page 2, it's wild, and it does it instantaneously. So I wanted to try it out tonight. So I'm going to share the screen with us. So what we're going to do, Joe, I need you to give me, and it can be, I want you to think of something as random as you possibly can. Give me a top 10 anything. And we're going to see what it spits out, and then we're going to debate how legitimate it is.
Okay. Oh man.
And we can go top 10 sports. We can go food, music, whatever.
Anything?
Anything.
Any question?
Any question. Top 10, anything.
Okay. What was Charlie Hayes' best friend's name on the Phillies in middle school?
Oh God. I'm trying to think here. So top 10, like, how about we do this? You ready? Pick a sport and pick a position.
All right. NBA centers.
All right, here we go. Top 10 NBA centers. Are you ready, Joe?
Ready.
All right, here we go. So this is top 10 current NBA centers. All right, we got at number, so they put Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Rudy Gobert at 3. Any debate at the top?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Rudy Gobert.
Then you got yeah. See that I would argue there. I don't love Rudy Gobert's game.
Yeah.
Now the guys directly behind him, right? Karl Anthony Towns, Bam Adebayo. I would actually argue that I would like Karl Anthony Towns ahead of Rudy Gobert.
Absolutely.
Only because what he brings on both sides of the court.
Gobert is he's just for defense. He has no offensive game. Clint Capella?
Yeah, Clint Capella at number 6. Oof. And they got DeAndre Ayton at 7. Kind of shows you how depleted the
it really goes off a cliff.
Right? Like how depleted the NBA centers are.
Oh my God.
But then you got Miles Turner, you got DeAndre Ayton, Miles Turner, Jared Allen, and Jonas Valanciunas.
Jesus. Yeah, I can't have Gobert and Capella that high.
Okay. So who are you moving up?
For me. Gobert, I think you put Bam. I think you can move Bam up to, well, maybe put Towns at 3, put Bam at 4. Oh, and then it's just slop.
It really is.
I
mean, it really is because
they're all
Gobert's
whatever. They're all tied for 5th or 6th.
Right. Gobert is a former, NBA Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So I think, but it's a lot of slop. It kind of shows you the evolution of this position and how phased out this position really is in the current NBA slot.
I would put Turner ahead of Capella.
Okay.
Aton, Allen, and probably Valanciunas.
Okay.
But that's just me. I mean, that's just my opinion. But like you said, after Bam, it's wow.
It's a lot of slop.
It is, man.
And I'll tell you what, I can't argue at the top, right? As much as I love Joel Embiid and the season that he had.
Yeah.
What Jokic is doing right now in the NBA Finals is, I mean, he's pretty much putting on a clinic. And they're gonna tip off in a couple minutes, but man, it's just, it's something definitely to debate, but this is just something fun. We'll bring up periodically. We'll just bring up some random stuff and just kind of go through.
Love it. Something new, something different, Don. I love it.
And we can do, the thing that I love about it, Joe, is that it's a lot of cool, just it can be a cool, random kind of stuff, but it's the way that the AI stuff just kind of changes the game. Cause I've seen some videos of people writing books using this, like just, using this as a way to like time save. And I'm like, all right, well, that's, instead of going on and doing a Google search, you go here, it's got all the information you need. You don't have to sort through anything. You're not fact finding anything. It's all right here. You do your, you fact check it, but it's like, it's all right there. It's just kind of, it's creepy, but it's also kind of cool at the same time.
It is a little creepy, Don, with that whole AI talk. We're at a time and with technology and the way things are in 2023, I just hope that they don't get too smart. I hope they don't
put us out of business.
Yeah. We're gonna have to start watching.
You're gonna have a bunch of bots running stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like iRobot. All this crap's gonna be real. We're gonna go outside and they're gonna be we're gonna be outnumbered.
Oh God. Well, Joe, we're gonna conclude part 1. I'll pick it up with Rich tomorrow with part 2. But you got final thoughts on the way out?
Final thoughts. Man, I guess just try to stay safe with this smoke and whatever the cloudy stuff going on out here. Check on your people. Make sure you're, the people that are in the high risk bracket. And like they even said, it doesn't even matter if you're high risk. Like we didn't go outside. We were going to go to the Phillies game. They canceled the game. We've sat in the house all night. I was outside today with work because I had to be, but
Right.
Hopefully this blows over soon. Hopefully nobody gets sick. Nobody has any issues with it. Just check on your people, make sure everybody's okay. You just never know, Stay inside, people. Stay inside.
Listen, lock your windows, close your doors.
Yeah.
Turn a movie on, just chill. Normally I would say like, get outside. It's about to be summer.
Don't do it.
No, don't move. Close the door.
Don't do it. My daughter did today. She was half awake. She had her window fan in her window with the window open, pulling in that air from the outside. My wife comes up and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
No. Close it. Shut it down. Close it down. No.
Have you been outside today?
Oh my God! Wow, that's crazy.
She didn't know. She didn't know.
You check on your people, do what you got to do. But, we got to make sure that everybody's safe. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to do to keep themselves safe, keep their family safe. Call your people, check on your people. But we'll be back tomorrow night at 8 with Rich with part 2. Joe, It's been real, brother.
Yeah, Don.
Have
As
a good
always,
week.
shout out to Jay. Hope you're
Yes.
doing good, buddy.
Shout out to Jay. Jay, keep
Hope
you know,
you're doing well, brother.
keep fighting, brother. We got
Thinking of you, man. Thinking of you.
We'll talk to you later, brother.
All right. See you, Don.
Later.
This is the Broad Street Line, where Philly sports fans leave all of their sports hot takes. Call 267-405-3062 and show us your passion for Philly sports. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday at 8:30 when we listen to your live reactions to the thrill of victory or the agony of defeat.